The following slides describe an online course as well as steps to take to make in-class course corrections. Before we get into details about in-class course corrections, let me give you some background on the online class. It is a fully online class. The content is based on English Language Arts curriculum. I am using Virginia Standards of Learning to base my standards and objectives on. This is a 5th grade online class. The content of this online class is nonfiction text structures. This is from Virginia SOL 5.6F, which states the student will identify structural patterns in nonfiction. There are 5 structures the students will be learning throughout this course. These include chronological order, compare and contrast, cause and effect, problem and solution, and description. Throughout this course, there are several engaging activities the students will access. During the course introduction, there will be a branched, interactive PowerPoint. This activity allows the students to work at their own pace and several opportunities to practice within the PowerPoint. There will also be several short, engaging videos for the students to watch. Throughout the course, there will be several opportunities for the students to practice identifying various text structures through online interactive games. There are also several assessments throughout the course. This will include multiple choice, short answer, and even engaging quiz-is assessments. Finally, there will be several discussion boards for the students to explain their understanding of the material. Now, let me introduce my students of concern. For their privacy, I'm simply referring to them as Student A and Student B. Student A is new to the online learning community and is from a traditional classroom setting. Over the first few weeks, I have seen very poor participation from this student and below quality work. Student B is not new to the online environment. This student is actually a previous student and is familiar with our routines and is acclimated to the online environment. However, this student has exhibited poor participation on certain but not all activities. Finally, this student has been submitting average, if not below average work. Let's take a look at Student A's data. They have accessed the interactive PowerPoint, yet there has been no participation in online interactives. Moving on to the discussion boards, this student's responses have been incredibly short and they do not complete all requirements. Finally, the assessments they have completed have proven to be below average work. On the first assessment, they received a 6 out of 10. On the second assessment, they received a 5 out of 10. Here is Student B's data. This student has not accessed the PowerPoint and therefore has not practiced with the material. They have participated in some of the online interactives. Looking at the discussion boards, their responses have been sporadic. However, when they respond, their insights are surprisingly fantastic. Finally, their assessments have been less than stellar. For the first assessment, they received 5 out of 10, and on the second assessment, they received 6 out of 10. I will now go through 3 recommendations to help these students, as well as others who may be struggling. Recommendation number 1 is to maintain open communication. This needs to be with both the student and their parents. I will also ensure that I am providing timely and constructive feedback. Feedback is one of the most powerful and readily available practices teachers can implement to improve student achievement. Feedback guides students' behavioral learning, resulting in improved classroom behavior and allowing students and teachers to spend more time actively engaged with instructional content. Recommendation number 2 involves encouragement and motivation. Within the open communication, the student needs encouragement for better work habits. I will check in frequently with the student and help set up a timeline to encourage staying on track. Within these check-ins, we will also discuss the importance of taking their learning into their own hands. This includes determining what motivates them. Finally, recommendation number 3 involves student self-reflection. Within the self-reflection, we will need to determine how these students learn best. We can also brainstorm alternate activities these students can participate in. Self-reflection as a learning strategy involves purposeful self-monitoring of one's own learning goals. The education research literature suggests that students who reflect on their learning have better outcomes than students who do not. Lastly, we can take a look at the in-class course corrections to make. First, we need to ensure that we are using relevant, relatable articles for the students to read and analyze. Next, we need to make sure all directions are clear and precise. In addition, audio directions could be offered if needed. Flexible choices can be offered for student work when expressing understanding. Finally, offering various ways for the students to respond to their work will also allow them to take ownership of their learning. Listed below are references used throughout this presentation.